and welcome to my birthday week. So, this is a full on recording. I will not be live this week. So, if you're watching this and you start chatting with me, like normally I say hello. So, if you're watching with me when you normally would watch live and I don't respond, it's not because I don't love you, it's because this is actually not live, it's a Memorex for those Gen Xers that remember it's a YouTube recording. Anyway, I hope you can hear me. I hope you're having a lovely day. Um, anyway, so what I thought we'd do this week, because I feel like, you know, we have so much. September is such a lovely month, aside from it being my birthday month. But it is such a lovely month because we start to feel that shift of summer. Now, I know there's a lot of you out there that are like, no, no, summer, please do not leave. But I am not one of those people. I live in the South, and my bun is extraordinarily messy this morning. I live in the South now. I grew up in the Northeast. I went to school in like on the border of Canada. So I kind of like me some snow, but I live with the man that doesn't love snow. So we get snow here maybe twice, 2 days, if that, a year. So I'm looking forward to it becoming fall. Fall is my favorite season. It gets a little cooler. Um, and I'm not a super fan of the pumpkin spice in the coffee, but I do love me some pumpkin spice tea. I love pumpkin pie, like all the fall things, all the fall things. I'm like looking forward to hygge. If you don't know what that is, Hyggge. Google it. It is like this Scandinavian mindset of being cozy. That's kind of the feeling that I get as we head into fall. And so I thought this week, since it is my birthday and I was born on the fall equinox, so I am a Virgo sun, Pisces moon. So that's where all of my spiritual, practical, no BS comes in. My astrology totally leads to that. But I also feel like it's a time for kind of winding down. We are in a world that a lot of times tries to push us beyond our limits. And a lot of times it doesn't invite us to look at the things that we've done, to take stock. It wants to push us forward all the time because it wants from us. And the thing is that you don't have to say yes to it. I want to be really clear. You have full permission, like affirmation time. It is safe for me to step back and wind down with the season because we are part of the ecosystem of the earth. And as that, the days get shorter. And I know that people are like freaking out because they're like, well, I can't get so much stuff done. Well, maybe you're not supposed to. Maybe you're not supposed to. Maybe we're supposed to slow down just a smidge and chill and reassess and look at everything that we have harvested throughout the year. Because right now we're kind of winding down our harvest. For those of you that are like me, that are canners, I haven't canned a lot this year. We had a lot going on, so I didn't really have a chance to do a garden, but I have canned probably about 14 pints of green beans, two different varieties, because the man prefers the Italian flat ones because he's Southern, which I personally agree they are better, but I've only recently been able to find them at the farm. So bygones. But, I'm canning chili, all the fall things so that I have meals ready to go. It's really kind of saying, okay, what do I got? What do I have that I can be grateful for? What have I done? So, excuse me. So I think one of the cool things we can kind of look for as we are entering this fall equinox time is taking stock, not so much in a what I should have done and what I didn't do and what I didn't get to do, and like that kind of normal, like human thinking of going to the ick. I want you to stop looking at the shiz and start looking at your sparkle. So, what does that mean? Harvesting. Like, what did we do? So, you may not be a canner like me or a veggie gardener like me, but you've done stuff. Maybe you changed jobs. Maybe you changed relationships. Maybe you moved. Maybe you redecorated your house. Maybe you manifested some crazy, amazing stuff. Maybe you had some inner spiritual shifts because there's a lot of retrogrades at the end of this year. And we had several little bitty ones kind of throughout the year, but there were some heavy ones that were kind of starting to, you know, come out of and go into. So Venus went direct, 2 weeks ago? Uranus went retrograde. Um, you have Mercury going direct by the end of this week. That retro shade shall be over. What else? I have my little index card. Let's see. We have Chiron, which is still retrograde in Aries. So all you fellow Gen Xers out there, our wounded healers are our wounds are getting poked. So just really be mindful of giving yourself some space on that. Jupiter, which is the expansion and abundance thing, that is retrograde. Doesn't mean your abundance is going to go into the turlet. Okay. It just means that your abundance, your flow of like that was the first half of the year where you were like, holy crap, how is this happening? It may kind of slow down to what it normally might be. So to give you some breathing room to make sure, is this the stuff I want? Which brings me kind of to Neptune, which is my dreams. Are these the things that I want to be doing to take in that abundance? Like, maybe because like for several years I didn't want to travel. I mean, come on, let's be honest. Like being cooped up in a plane with a bunch of people that don't like you don't know what their hygiene practices are. Like I'm so Virgo right now. You don't know what their hygiene practices are. So like, me being on a plane with people, I'm kind of like I'm masking up. I feel like I should put on like a flippin' body condom just to get on the plane. So but kind of saying to yourself, where before I wouldn't travel at all. Like I didn't want to go anywhere because people are gross. And and so now like planning this trip to Scotland, it was kind of like, I got this little journal, which is downstairs, otherwise I'd show it to you. It's super cute. Um and it has room for 5 trips. And I was like, 5 trips? Like my dreams went from I never thought of doing some big trip until like literally 6 weeks ago. Cause like that's how quickly we planning this. Um, and then I got the journal and I was like, wait, I need to plan 4 more trips. Like, so I went from like some Neptune retrograde, right? Like I had never dreamed of planning that many trips and going that many places. And now I'm kind of like, well, where else can we go? Maybe we should go to Italy. Maybe we should go to Seattle. Maybe I want to go to Montreal for that circus thing that they do up there. Not Cirque du Soleil. I'm not like that. And I don't live in a total sack, but they do this like really cool music thing up there. Anyway, so you have Neptune retrograde, which might be kind of jostling up the dreams, which means we might jostle up the like Jupiter to me is like your vision board that you are focusing on, and sometimes you just need to reprocess your vision board and to kind of reassess how am I going to do this? How am I going to manifest this stuff? What's working for me? And then Pluto, which is transformation, is how am I going to make these changes? Because the transformation comes with consistency, right? So, what do I need to do to now that I've reassessed all these things? Because retrograde, reassessing, renewing, going inward, having those inner conversations, all that kind of stuff to do this. So you have all this time to kind of like reassess one of the things, like when you garden, you kind of like at the end of the season, you look at your flower bed after you've kind of yanked everything out. You look at what you canned, you look at what you've harvested, and you're like, okay, which things did I use and which not? Like I think when I first started canning, I canned all kinds of crap because people said that was trendy, like the cowboy candy with the jalapenos in it, which was great. I still have like 6 jars of it because I don't eat it. Darren doesn't eat it, but everyone I give it to seems to eat it. So guess what y'all are getting for Christmas? So, but other than that, once it's gone, I'm not probably going to do that again. But I will pickle jalapenos and have those. So, like, that's the kind of reassessment with all the retrogrades going on. I know that sounds really small, but that's kind of how you implement it in your life. So, what I wanted to do today is pull some cards and do a spread based on specifically for the autumn equinox, which is a 5 card spread. And this will be for the collective. Now, right now, what's today? So, if you're watching this right when I'm recording it, which is I think the 19th, or the 18th, I don't remember. I think I'm going to let it go on the 19th. So, the thing is that if you want your very own uh, intuitively channeled reading with me right now, they're on sale until the 22nd of September 2023 for $25 off the normal price. And that doesn't mean you have to have the reading by the 22nd, but you do need to book it by then. So if you want the discount, so use Virgo23 as your coupon code. But again, if you're watching this past then, sorry, Charlie. But you can book into October for those sessions if you need to. But FYI, discount does not apply to readings at AromaG's or to the New Year's readings that are coming up in November. So just FYI. But go ahead and if you want to, you can click the link in the description that says book your thingy now, and then use Virgo23 as your coupon code between now and the 22nd to grab a Zoom 1-hour session with me. But this is for the collective. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask some questions. And what I would also recommend you do is we do this. So I'm going to lay out the spread. You may also want to use these questions as journal prompts for yourself, and you can use them for your own personal, if you do card pulls too. You know, I'm all about like if you want to have a facilitated session with me, because I do intuitive channeling during the session as well as coaching, because that's I got both things. But if you want to do your own, that's cool. So just follow along and I will tell you the questions we are asking as we pull the cards. And I'm going to just lay them out. And this is a 5-card spread. And I'm using, where's the deck thingy? So I'm using this. I'll put the link to this in the description as well. These are the Clapper and Reed Spirit Animal Oracle. I love them. I love the animals because they're gentle. So, okay. So let's pull our cards. All right. Am I done? Yes. Okay. Oh, upside down. Cool. Okay. Lots of upside downs, but that's cool. Okay. Yeah. 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 All right. So our first card, the question we're asking in the first position. So card number 1, question is, what have I planted that will be ready for harvest this season? And it's lion spirit, but upside down. So, and what that is be generous of spirit. Okay, but it's upside down. So it might mean you're not giving yourself enough credit. So upside down when I do things isn't, oh my gosh, go hide your kids, hide your wife. When I read upside down cards, it is, I didn't know that. I forgot that I knew that, or I know, and I'm being a whiny baby because I don't want to. So I think this is more of the middle one, that I forgot that I knew that. And we are not programmed as we get out into the world to take credit for the things that we are harvesting. So, this to me is be generous of spirit with yourself, but it's upside down. So, it's you are forgetting to give yourself credit for all of the amazing things you have done thus far this year. So, make sure you sit down maybe and journal, what did I do this year that I want to give myself credit for? Did I pay off my credit card? Did I pay off my car? Did I, start volunteering at a charity that I've always wanted to do? Did I, start a new hobby? Like, did I start learning how to cook, like do French cooking, or, sharpen up my knife skills? Note pun. Did I, do something that I really have been longing to do, and I just bit the bullet and went and did it? Be generous of spirit. Remind yourself to give yourself credit for this stuff. A lot of times it's like we don't celebrate our wins. So I want you to kind of say, the first card here is really start remembering what you harvested, the things that you did, and celebrate those wins. So the second position card question is, what can I do now? What can I do right now to ensure my most bountiful harvest? So as we come into, and this is really important because and I swear, when I pull cards, I always say, they don't, you can't make this stuff up. So, second position is turtle spirit, which is slow and steady wins the race. Now, why is that important right now? So, the question is, what can I do to ensure my most bountiful harvest during, this next quarter or turn of the wheel? As we slow down into fall, it's important not to push, 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 push. And a lot of times in the summer, we're going, going, going. We're going on vacation. We're going to picnics. We're playing sports. We're going to the pool. We're going to the beach. We're doing all the things because it's that time of year. The fall, you know, we kind of associate fall and winter with like holidays, and that just amps us all up. But the fact is that this human animal that we are, the meat suit we are in the fall is programmed from nature to start to slow down, and not slow down to a stop, but slow down to give yourself and your nerves a rest. So slow and steady wins the race means we don't have to multitask anymore, or at least cut down on your multitasking. I want to make a point here too. Priority, the actual etymology of priority means one thing. So all these people running around saying, what are your priorities? That word in the English language was never meant to be plural, because a priority is the number one thing, and you cannot have 17 number one things. It is not, we chose a linear human existence, and that just is not how things work. So the way to ensure your most bountiful harvest is to slow down, because slow and steady wins the race. Plus, when you slow down, you don't miss things. We don't skip over things. We aren't frazzled at the end of the day. Do what you can do, and there will still be stuff tomorrow. And the thing is, if you get hit by a bus, I don't think you're going to be worried about the crap that's still on your desk. So, slow and steady wins the race to ensure that bountiful harvest. So, number three position is, what changes should I be preparing for as I go into this phase? Now, here's the interesting thing. Again, upside down card. What a great thing, right? Upside down is like, here's what I'm not seeing, right? So I think this is also another one of those middle ground where I forgot that I knew that cards, and it's Canary Spirit, but she comes in upside down, which is sing your own song. So as we are giving ourselves credit for everything we've done, kind of really reshaping our speed at which we handle things, slowing steady wins the race, we also need to remember singing our own song is important. So I need to prepare for changes that are coming. And even though, yes, our past has shaped us into who we are today, sometimes, no, that's not the right word, all the time. When you are faced with decisions, big or small, we need to step into our own power. And that's where singing our song. So note, I love this. Note the blue background, right? That is a throat chakra color. Singing your own song really is talking about making decisions based on what you want, not what on your parents had told you they wanted for you, not what your aunt that is nitpicky told you to do, not what your grandma and grandpa did for a living, not what your friends are telling you, not what the news or society says is the right thing to do or the right way to act. You need to go within yourself and make, when you're asked to make a decision or move forward about anything that is strong and personal for you, sing your own song. Don't do a cover tune on this one. So that's really the way to prepare, is to start thinking about right now. And this is a great time. You could even do a Mabon board, right? Which is kind of like a vision board, but to me, it's, pulling your cards, getting your answers, and then thinking about all of this stuff. Like, maybe make it into, certain sections. Here's the pictures of the things I want to give myself credit for. Maybe here's some notes about where I feel I need to slow down and be steady so that I can win the race. Here's where I want to sing my own song. Maybe I write my own, like, what are my beliefs? And do they still work for me? And where did they come from? Because if those beliefs are governed by things that you were told as a child, as a teen, as a 20 something, I mean, all we ever talk about is our inner child, like, as if like you went from like being 3 years old to like however old you are now. There are still like decades in between, trust me. So thinking about that, are the beliefs that I have about things, do they still serve me? And if they don't, what would I rather believe? Because that is singing your own song. Okay. So sing your own song is a reminder, because again, comes in upside down. It's a reminder that, the way we manifest what we want is to be in self awareness of how we're thinking about things. So you might journal out, what do I believe about money, about relationship, about my, how I feel about work, whatever it is that is kind of troubling you, sit down and, what do I believe about that? And is it working for me? Or maybe would a new perspective help? That kind of stuff. And then that way you're singing your own song instead of regurgitating beliefs and thoughts and patterns that were programmed in your youth or up to the day that you do this. So that's interesting. So the fourth card is, what must I shed in order to preserve my energy? I kind of love this. I love this. And here's why. So giraffe comes in upside down. And giraffe, she's super tall. She can see all the things. It's like eagle is the only one higher than her. So seeing the big picture, but she's upside down. And a lot of times I think in this day and age, we so micro focus on stuff that isn't necessarily super important to you. So if you're watching the news, for example, and local news is maybe more your like affecting you than say the world news. So if you're watching those big world newses, they micro focus on these things that really, they don't really affect you. Like something happening across the world, yeah, we might feel like, empathy for those folks that are going through something. But the fact is that what happens is your brain processes that as something happening to you when it's not. And you actually are so much more blessed than what is sent at you and told to you via these news clips. Okay. And so what happens is it makes you like sad and afraid and stuff like that. So if you're not aware of that's how this is rolling, when the stuff you're watching this stuff, you need to kind of maybe turn it off until you can be aware. Because if we can see the big picture of, and I want to be really clear, there is stuff happening in the world that those people that it's happening to, that is very real for them. And I send prayers and good energy to them, and so can you. But the fact is that when you are taking in all this information, and it can scare the crap out of you and it make you not feel good. And so then when we that happens, we start manifesting stuff that doesn't feel good. So if we're thinking about what do I need to do to preserve my energy so that I can create a harvest that is good, a manifestation that is what I want, we need to see the big picture, which that doesn't affect me. Do I need to watch it? Not really. Maybe you watch your local news for the weather. But the fact is that even watching your local news, let's be honest, back in the day when I was a kid, in the early 80s, news was like 30 minutes. And that was it because there was no opining. It is the opining of people you don't know talking about stuff that does not affect you that makes your brain and your meat suit all upset. And that kind of stuff can really be problematic. So see the big picture. What am I feeding? Like, how am I nurturing myself? That's another thing. So all of this is happening in the sign of Virgo. And part of being a Virgo is understanding how to nurture. And a lot of times we talk about nurturing other people, but it's nurturing self. And nurturing is like watering the plant. What are you watering your plant with? Are you watering it with sludge? Because when you water it with sludge, it gets all mucked up and doesn't do well. So, wouldn't you want to nurture it with stuff that feels good? Like maybe you don't watch the news for a week and see how you feel. It might be stressful for the first couple of days because your brain is used to that jazzing. But what if you replaced it with something you love? Like maybe if you're going to watch TV, maybe The Big Bang Theory, because I think that is a hilarious show, or find a show that you find hilarious or a movie, or maybe get outside. Like I know whenever I'm having a stressful moment, going outside and just putting my hands on a tree. I know that sounds all granola, but it's true. Putting my hands on a tree gives me perspective. It makes me feel more connected to what is right in front of me. Now, some other ground and like just go do grounding things. Get a grounding mat if you live in the city, but take some time away to just be with yourself, maybe be with some friends or your family, be with literal humans so that you can ground into who you are, harvest in and see the big picture of what really does affect you. And I bet you'll find as you're doing this, that energy of like feeling overwhelmed and yucky will go away. And you'll start to realize that there is so much blessing because when we kind of shed that energy that is being put upon us and embrace the energy that is truly who we are through looking at the big picture, then you will feel much, much better and start to um, really start reeling in and manifesting that harvest that we are talking about right now. And the fifth question that we're going to ask is how can I connect further with the season? Oh, I love this. How can I connect further with the season? And the last one is horse spirit. And I know there are certain people out there that love horses. And isn't this a beautiful card? And freedom is yours. And it's one of those things, and it's right side up. And it's a 33, double number manifestation. Hello, freedom is yours. So, what does that mean? That means that the outcome is up to you. So, you can take what I have shared as like some guidance, and then the very end, you get to choose whatever you want. How can I connect further with this season? I forget the full quote, but it was basically like The only thing holding you where you are is you. So if you choose freedom versus no, I can't, I think it was Henry Ford that said, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So remember that and say, I have the freedom to choose. I have the freedom to decide. And yeah, stuff's going to happen that's out of your control that may not feel awesome, but you also have the freedom to decide how you will choose to move forward from it, how you will choose to think about it, how you will choose to respond to it. And that in itself is freedom. That in itself is freedom. And so all of this stuff about what do I need to do? What do I need to have the best harvest, to go forward in the best way, to navigate this midpoint between summer and winter in a way that feels good. And it's really up to you. I know that doesn't, like, a lot of the people that like predictive readings, they don't like that, but the fact is that I find that personally extraordinarily empowering, because when you get to decide and choose, you're the one propelling you forward. All this other stuff, like, that wants to propel you in the direction it wants you to go, like whether it be the corporate America thing, whether it be social media, guiding your choosing what's on your timeline so that it guides where your focus is. But the fact is that you, in your own awareness, get to choose where your focus is so that you manifest what you want. And that is true freedom, is up here, up here. So that's what this is all about. I love this so much. So to recap, so we're going to be generous of spirit on this fall equinox, meaning give yourself credit for all of the things that you did this year. Like, start to sit down, get you a cup of tea, hot or cold, depending on where you are in the world. Light a candle, put on some nice music, and just maybe write down all of the things you can remember that you want to give yourself credit for doing this year. Maybe you lost weight or gained weight. Maybe you stayed the same. Maybe you did your first marathon or first so many mile walk. Like, I have my little T-shirt on for the Flight of the Dragonfly walk that I did last year, I think. But give yourself credit for the things. That's number one. Number two, slow and steady wins the race. So we have been going at a breakneck speed up until recently, until Uranus kind of went retrograde, which is also going to support this transition into fall. And so slow and steady wins the race. It doesn't mean we stop. It means we slow down and are more mindful about the steps we are taking. So doing it from that perspective, you won't miss stuff. You won't miss out on things. Like Ferris Bueller said, life moves pretty fast. If you don't slow down once in a while, you just might miss it. So, great philosopher. And then third thing, what changes should you be preparing for? The changes is the reminder to sing your own song. The changes are other people are going to want to tell you how to do things. Remember, you are your own person. If you want to be empowered, sing your own song. It is time to listen to you, and you do you, and that's what matters. And then four, what energy do I need to shed? Or rather, what do I need to shed to preserve my energy? So what do I need to get rid of so I stay in check and feel good? Seeing the big picture. Really be mindful of what you're nurturing yourself with. Is it stuff that doesn't really matter for you, but it puts forth, pretends like it does? Or does it really matter? See that big picture and really don't focus on these little teeny things that don't matter, because it's the big picture that really is what is necessary for you to move forward. And then lastly, all of these choices, I love this last card, is freedom is yours. And it's right side up. So it's, this, we're going to do this, and it's going to be lovely. Okay, so that is the Fall Equinox Mabon reading for you for 2023. I hope you enjoyed it. And I will see you. I'm not sure if I will be here on the 25th. We will see. And if I am, awesome. If not, I will see you on the 2nd of October in a live stream. If you're watching this in the past, that doesn't really matter. So anyways, I'm going to go have my birthday. I will see you guys next time. And until then, I will see you in the vortex. I love you so much. Have a lovely, lovely fall equinox in Mabon. And that's it. Bye-bye, guys. See you later.